you and tell you how to fix the thing they actually hired you to fix. You will also feel at peace after switching to Progressive, America's #1 commercial auto insurer. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. #1 commercial auto insurer from the NAIC's 2024 National Premium Data.
Need life insurance but have diabetes, high blood pressure, or on anxiety meds? If you're a 50-year-old male, even porky, or with type 2 diabetes, $1 million of life insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. For affordable term life insurance, call Term Provider and speak with Big Lou at 800-444-2013. 800-444-2013 or visit biglou.com. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. 800-444-2013.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this hour of the Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. They need your guns. Sell for top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
From the streets of Melrose Park to the trading floor of the Merc, he's fought for every dollar he's ever earned. And now, with personal liberty and our system of capitalism under assault in America, he's here to seize back our rights from the government. With a cigar in one hand and a copy of the Declaration of Independence in the other, he's Shaun Thompson. And this is the Shaun Thompson Show.
Some folks are born made to wave the flag.
Insurrection! Insurrection. You know, when you're from Chicago, you realize that was no insurrection. Been at soirees. In fact, this weekend, today, more people were shot in Chicago than during January 6th, and I'm including the veteran Ashley Babbitt, who was assassinated by a Capitol fraud. When you look at what they called an insurrection, how many guys and girls, how many decent people who their whole life lived decent, were put into solitary confinement and charged with insurrection, did time. How many took a plea deal because they were afraid that they would be put in solitary confinement and do time? My next guest, former actor, model, creative director. So if anybody should be nervous about going to prison, it's this handsome son of a gun. But he's an American. He's proud, and he wouldn't take the plea deal. He stood trial. He served time. 4 months in solitary confinement. Railroaded. Victim. A true political prisoner. Author of the new book, Patriot Plea, The J6 Journey of a Political Prisoner in a Divided States of America, and from what I understand, running for Congress, not only that, Squirrel, running for my congressman. John Strand, how are you?
Amazing, sir. How are you? It's great to be with you today.
Yes, it's very good to be with you, and I love the fact that you're running for my congressman. I did not. When did you decide to do this?
In a prison cell, actually. So the Patriot Plea was written in prison, and that's also where God put the call in my heart to step forward, to run for office, and to do what few men seem to be able to do, which is stand for truth and justice, fight for their own American citizens, and stand firm against the corruption and cowardice that is undermining this republic.
Well, I think that the Leviathan, the Fourth Reich, the powers that be underestimated people like you and people like our listeners. They underestimated our resilience and the fact that we were never going to give quarter to the excuses, to the frauds, to the lawfare that you did time for. And when you look at that whole scheme, insurrection, you were there. You lived it. I used to say it wasn't an insurrection because I wasn't there. But was anybody firing? Was there any kind of violence to the level of, say, a George Floyd celebration and death meeting called a BLM riot? Did you see any kind of violence like that?
Definitely not like that, no. There were not dumpster fires being burned. There were not machine guns being sprayed. The violence largely was initiated, unfortunately, by rogue elements of law enforcement. So U.S. Capitol Police violated use of force protocol at multiple points. This is actually very well documented in a particular film. I actually appear in it, called The Real Story of Jan 6, that was done by the Epic Times. There are a number of other films and documentaries covering the January 6th event, many of which are worth your time. I also did one called Capital Punishment and the War on Truth with my friends Nick Searcy and Chris Burgard. So there's material out there. But yes, Shaun, the point is that the vast majority of American citizens who I consider brave patriots that took their time and own expense to be there and to stand up for their country and law and order and demand election integrity, the vast majority were completely innocent and entrapped in a manufactured riot and a fraudulent government entrapment event, which I detail in excruciating detail in the book, as you mentioned, which you can get at johnstrand.com.
You know, John, if you think about it, from the diabolical position of a scumbag perpetrating a cover-up of the most obvious election theft in this country's history, and I'm talking about a mayor in the Dukes of Hazzard kind of obvious stolen election for that fracking imbecile scumbag, Joe Biden.
Yeah.
And the 30 or the 26 million more than Barack Obama, the hope and change, yes, we can, bulldung. And you look at the reality of what had to happen to make us stop demanding an audit. It was the setup. It was the entrapment. It was the government psyop that you only thought you'd hear about in Haiti that happened right before our eyes, called January 6th, wasn't it?
You're absolutely right. If folks are wondering what exactly happened to me when I was there, I want to urge people to go to johnstrand.com/J6. If you go to johnstrand.com/J6, you go directly to a video. It's only about 13 minutes of footage because I accelerated it, but it shows every step I took in the building. I didn't cut anything out. So you watch my whole journey. You hear it narrated from my POV, so you understand what I was experiencing at the time it happened. You watch that and then you ask yourself, should this man have been in a courtroom, much less in a federal prison? It is mind-blowing.
I mean, John, I'm looking at you, all right? I'm looking at you. Now, I come from a neighborhood where you punch me in the face, kid, you make me homesick. You don't look like you've ever been punched in the face in your life. You don't look like the kind of guy that's starting fights and flipping things over. You don't look like anybody I hung around with. You look like a nice, upstanding citizen. You look like your shirt is all pressed. You're clean. What do you go in at in this picture? What are you, about $1.70? 72?
About that, yeah.
You're about $1.72, right? Handsome as the day is long. You wouldn't last 6 minutes in a tavern in my neighborhood. Yet you're supposed to be Dillinger, according to the charges. You're supposed to be a savage beast. You were like Rambo, only you have no care for your own self or your friends. I mean, it's a fracking joke, isn't it?
It is, but I actually lasted for 366 days in a higher security federal prison that was a absolute disaster. A miserable environment. Prison is so corrupt. There's so much to dig into on criminal justice reform once we get to that portion. But first, we need to deal with the scumbags, as you called them, the government gangsters, the people that have been abusing their positions of power to weaponize the government against innocent American citizens, myself and many others. And we need to bring accountability to these criminals and to these scoundrels, because the American people are sick and tired of it. They're obviously sick and tired of seeing incredible travesties like you did with January 6th. And people really need to read Patriot Plea. It will change your life forever. I promise you that. But we also want to see accountability in government for every American across this land that is being abused by the government with taxes that are wasted and paying off, fraudulent entities. The corruption in the government is affecting every American, and every one of them should be angry, and every one of them deserves truth and courage in their leaders.
So look at what we lived through, though. If you just stop for a second and you look at the people involved in that fraud, in that entrapment, in that psyop called January 6th, everybody from the reporter to the fraud capital cop, which makes the New York Police Department during the years of Serpico look straight as an arrow. Those Capitol policemen, that you want to talk about a group of suck-ons with cushy jobs. It's every one of those morons as they sit in Caligula for nerds. You got how many of these guys are molesting the people that work for them, let alone the ones that work in the office next door? How much dope is in the Capitol building alone? How much open political scandal and bribery makes the city hall in Chicago look like a church? And they all sat there. They're in on it. All the prosecutors are in on it. All the judges are in on it as they railroad a 172-pound model to turn him into Rambo and sit him in the cooler for over a year. It's insane. Everybody in that stream needs to go to jail, including whoever ran that Washington prison. From what I hear, was like Stalag 17. Am I right?
No, the prison system is an absolute travesty, Shaun. It's absolutely true. But it's not surprising because the entire federal government has stooped to this level over a period of time. So here's what's going to happen. I survived absolute torture and unbelievable abuse in government, from government weaponization, which if you read Patriot Plea, go to johnstrand.com, get that book and read it. Share it with the people you care about so you understand what's actually happening in our country, but also so you can understand what we're going to do about it. If you go to johnstrand.com, you're going to see that this guy that survived all of that didn't go home and cry about it. He thanked God for saving him. He thanked his parents for raising him right. And he took a look in the mirror and realized this country is worth fighting for. And he filed to run for office. I'm running for Congress in Florida 19. We're going to win because it is our moment. It is our time. And this country is ready to be taken back by its people.
Well, that
you can participate. Yeah.
That is my district. I'm not kidding you. I live there.
I love it. I love it.
And you know what's funny is
paradise.
Oh, it's fantastic. But you know what's funny is Oberweis, who's 80 fracking years old. You see this old man?
I know. It's
80 fracking years. You know, in Illinois, you know what he was good for? Absolutely nothing. Handing out ice cream cones during a golf thing. Right? He's sitting there like he's 60 or even 50 or even 40. He's 80. And he's running on a campaign that's insulting. It's insulting. But I have to tell you, I met Byron, and I kind of liked him. I'll tell you what, when he did the thing with the backtracking on the illegal aliens, and now he's not saying a word about impeaching John Roberts, you know, I'll vote for you. I want you to get in. I want somebody good to get in. But you have to wield the power of the representative that needs to be wielded. John Roberts should be impeached. You know, high crimes and misdemeanors doesn't mean you're taking deodorant from Walgreens. High crimes and misdemeanors means you ran as one thing, you were put forward as one thing, and you double-crossed the people. And that's what, as far as I could see, I think that's 80% of these bastards. But I want politicians, specifically congressmen, to start processing an impeachment for John Roberts. He stabbed me in the back with all of us with Obamacare. He rewrote it in his chambers, the crooked bastard. And now he did it again with birthright citizen, the anchor baby bulldog. Impeach that son of a gun. Make that part of your campaign. You'll win.
Here's what we're going to do, Shaun. John Roberts and Amy Coney Barrett are a disgrace. Absolutely. There's no question about that. I want to just clarify on Byron Donalds because he's a strong conservative. And the clip about him on immigration was very old and taken out of context. Byron's actually very strong in immigration, and I'm going to be even stronger. As a congressman, I am proposing the 2020 Sovereignty Act, 20 years of zero immigration, 20 million deportations over the next 4 years. That's 5 million a year. I want to see it happen. It can with simple common sense policy like debanking illegal aliens and enforcing E-Verify. And on the immigration point, people don't realize, Shaun, that our country already had not a 20-year, but a 40-year moratorium on immigration from 1924 to 1964. And do you know what happened during that 40-year moratorium? Income for black families skyrocketed over 300%. Income for white families skyrocketed over 100%. So Americans across the board did better, and the poverty gap for minorities was closed.
You know what you should do, John?
Lock down our borders and our sovereignty.
Well, what happened was the middle class. That should be it.
That's right.
You want to know what happened during that period? The middle class happened. Guys could have their wife stay at home. They could buy 2 cars. They could have the time of their life. That's what your sales pitch is. I really want to see you move forward with your political career. I think this is exactly the kind of resume somebody needs to move forward. And besides that, you're one of the few people running for that seat that doesn't wear a diaper. Do you think you should work that into the campaign poster?
Well, another thing, on your point on accountability, I'm openly calling to defund and abolish the D.C. District Court. That court never should have existed. There's no reason. Congress has absolute authority to eliminate any court they want to, except for the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court's the only one actually enumerated by the Constitution. All others are at the discretion of Congress. We just need a Congress with courage. We need a Congress with common sense. And we need a Congress with people that are actually committed to Judeo-Christian values and the foundations of this country. That's who I am. It's what I fought for. It's proven. And Shaun, tell your listeners, tell your audience, if they want to make a change in this country, they need to join this campaign, and I mean today, because we are the outsider, the underdog, the grassroots, and we need every dollar that people can send to us because you know how much money Oberweis is swinging around. Go to John.
Well, he sold out. Then right, he sold out.
Whatever you can.
Yeah, Oberweis sold out. He cashed out. Instead of just buying a boat and dating a girl from a strip joint, he decided to waste some money on Congress. So I can't believe anybody's going to vote for him. Honestly, I really am. I mean, you know, and everybody's like, oh, he's a nice guy. Well, obviously he doesn't have a mirror in his house. He's 80 years old. The hell's wrong with you? You're not going to run for Congress? I mean, it's preposterous as far as I can see.
But here's the bottom line, Shaun. We got to deal with reality. The reality on the ground is that people are busy. People are fighting just to put food on their tables and take care of their families. And people have a lot of noise. So the only way to cut through the noise and get name ID up for the districts and know that John Strand, Patriot for Congress, is the guy that they've been waiting for. We got to get some dollars in the bank so we can market this campaign and win. But we are ready to win.
And once you get in, you got to tear apart the Leviathan that puts you in the joint. I mean, I'm that serious. When you look at
don't tempt me with a good time, Shaun.
But look at this FBI. Look at what they did, and the way that they hit it with their confidential informants, which means every lowlife pig, drug addict, drug dealer, bust out scumbag who's an informant could go to January 6th and be a part of that entrapment. I think it's in the thousands. I think it's in the thousands of scumbags that were there. You know how I could tell who was there and didn't get arrested? That's who the scumbag is. And if you see the legacy of FBI informants and assets, do you not think that list needs to be revealed, as they are a part of the most obvious entrapment case in American history?
Well, I'll tell you what, Shaun. I am running for Congress in Florida's 19th Congressional District to follow Byron Donalds. Byron, sir, currently sits on the Oversight Committee. I will be seeking appointment to the Oversight Committee, and I will be drilling down on all of these issues. I will be asking very hard questions and expecting real answers, and I will be looking for criminals to go to prison where they belong. So we're going to bring courage, common sense to Congress, and we're going to get things done for the American people, and we're going to protect Southwest Florida, the crown jewel of the United States.
Plus, you also work for one of the best people in the world. I love her, and America frontline doctor Simone Gold. So now,
she's amazing.
Here's our thing now, kid. Now listen, I'm gonna support you. I really do. But if you double cross me on the insider trading, I will come there and throw you through a window. And I know that you survived in the joint, but you don't insider trade if you're my guy. You understand?
Nope, we don't want any of that corruption. America's sick of corruption.
All
so
right.
I am your anti-corruption fighter, Shaun.
All right.
Tell your audience, go to johnstrand.com, donate whatever possible so we can win. And when we get there, we are going to tear the corruption down.
All right. I hope I bump into you in the neighborhood. You stay strong. You say hello to Simone for us, will you?
I will. God bless you and your listeners.
You
God bless
too, John. Best of luck to you. Thanks again.
Thank you, sir.
We'll be back with your calls and comments.
He will never negotiate his constitutional rights with the government. Live free or die on the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
Making the switch to a new communications and IT company may seem like a big ordeal, but if you're not getting the reliable